So in step number 8, what we have to do, we have to find out the viscosity of the lubricant, which is given by mu lub. So how we will achieve this? See friends, this is the formula for the Summerfield number. Here S0 is the Summerfield number. So the value of Summerfield number is taken 0.631. Okay friend, which we have already obtained from the table, and put this value of Summerfield number here in this formula. So I have put this value of Summerfield number, that is 0.631 here, and the value of radius of journal, that is given as 30, is the given data. It is taken from here, and the value of the radial clearance is taken from the step number 4, and here mu lubricant we have to find out, and the value of the speed of the generated RPS, that is the revolution per second. Here in our question, the value of the speed of the shaft is given in revolution per minute, so we have to calculate it into revolution per second. So what we will do, we will divide the RPM to 60, so this will come up to in RPS. So we will put it as it is. Now friend, look at P unit. We will put the value of unit bearing pressure as 0.78 into 10 raised to power 6 from here. From here, that is step number 2. So all the things we have to put in this formula are to be put in SI units. So ultimately what we will get, we will get, after solving, the value of the viscosity of the lubricant in SI unit, that is Newton second per meter square. So the value of lubricant, that is the viscosity of the lubricant, is 80 into 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton second per meter square. Now we will convert it into this unit, that is Newton second per mm square. Okay friends. Now let's see the next step. In step number 9, we have to calculate the rise in temperature of the lubricant, which is given as follows. Delta T is equal to 8.311 into P unit into CFP divided by FP. Here the value of CFP and FP can be taken from the step number 7. Okay friend, this is CFP and this is FP. So we will put the value of CFP and FP from step number 7 into step number 9, and we will take the value of unit bearing pressure from step number 2 as 0.78, and we will calculate the value of delta T as 23.082 degrees Celsius. Now let's see the step number 10. In this step, we have to calculate the average temperature of the lubricant by using this formula. Here the formula is given as T average is equal to T inlet, that is the inlet temperature of the lubricant, plus rise in temperature of the lubricant divided by 2. So the value of inlet temperature is taken as 41 degrees Celsius, that is, it is a assumed value. So once we have taken the value of inlet temperature as 41 degrees Celsius as a assumed value, then we can calculate the value of the average temperature of the lubricant. Friends, in some cases what happens, the value of inlet temperature is not given to us. In that case, what we have to do, we have to take the inlet temperature as the ambient temperature. So by using that, we can calculate the value of the average temperature of the lubricant. Now once the average temperature of the lubricant is calculated, the next step is to calculate the type of the lubricant, that is we have to find the type of the lubricant that we have to use. Now for that, what we have to do, we have to look into this graph. In most of the data book, these types of graph will be available, but in some cases the graph is not available, but a table is available which shows the relationship between the viscosity of the lubricant and the average temperature. So here mu lub is the viscosity of the lubricant and T average is the average temperature of the lubricating oil. So the value of T average is coming out to be 52.5 degrees Celsius. So it will lie somewhere here. And the value of the viscosity of the lubricant is coming out to be 80 into 10 raised to power minus 9. Okay friends, so it will lie somewhere here. Okay friends, so when we draw a horizontal line like this from this point, and when I draw a vertical line from this point, okay friend, then it will meet somewhere here. So this particular point, that is the point of intersection of these two lines, will lie over here, over this line, and this line is representing the SAE30 oil. So we will choose this SAE30 oil as our lubricant. So we have chosen this as our lubricant. Now the lubricant is selected. Now we will go to the next step. But before that, I want to tell you that friend, this is the method of selecting the lubricant by using graph. But in certain data books, they will do not provide you graph. They will provide you a table like this. Okay friend, this is only a sample table containing only few lubricants, but there are a number of lubricants. That is SAE10, this is the grade of the oil, SAE20, SAE30, SAE40. So here only 4 lubricant is shown. To make the concept clear, I am only showing this a part of the table. Okay friend, and this is the that average temperature, that is 30 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius. Okay friend, and these are the viscosity. Okay friend, the variation of the temperature and the variation of the viscosity is shown in the table according to the particular oils. So accordingly we can choose the oil with the help of this table also. Okay friend, here the values as calculated in the question may not match with the values given in the table, because this table has been picked up from certain data book, and I have not taken the value that is given in the data book for the purpose of our question. So I am just showing this table to make your concept clear, that how we will choose the lubricant based on the average temperature of the lubricant and the viscosity of the lubricant calculated in the question. Now friends, let us come to our main slide, and in the next step what we have to do, we have to calculate the flow rate of the lubricant, that is the lubricant flow rate. And how we will obtain this value? Now see friend, we have already calculated the value of flow parameter. Okay friend, this parameter will give us the value of the lubricant flow rate. So using this formula, that is the flow parameter is equal to Q divided by Rj, radius the journal, C clearance, Ns is the RPS, the speed of the journal in RPS, and Lb is the length of the bearing, and Q is the lubricant flow rate. So using this formula we can calculate the value of the lubricant, because we know that the radius of the journal is 30 mm, and the radial clearance is already calculated in the previous steps, and the speed of the journal in revolution per second is given to us, that is ns is equal to 1020 divided by 60, and length of the bearing is 60 mm as calculated from the step number 1. So we can calculate by using all these values the value of lubricant flow rate. And once the value of the lubricant flow rate is calculated, the next step is to calculate the coefficient of friction using CFP. Okay friend, this is the coefficient of flow parameter, CFP. So the value of CFP can be taken from the step number 7 as 12.81, and once the value of the CFP is taken as 12.81, the next step is to put the value of CFP is equal to Rj divided by C into F, because the value of CFP is equal to this product, and this the product of this and this. So once we have calculated the value of CFP from the previous step, we can calculate the value of the coefficient of friction by putting the value of radius of journal as 30 mm, and the radial clearance can be calculated as 0.05 mm from the previous step, and the value of CFP is calculated from here as 12.81. So putting all these values, we can calculate the value of coefficient of friction, which comes out to be 0.0213. So once the value of coefficient of friction is calculated, what we have to do, we have to go to step number 14. So in step number 14, what we have to do, we have to calculate power lost in friction. So how we will calculate power lost in friction? By using this formula. So in this formula, the ns is the speed of the journal in revolution per second, and it can be given as 1020 divided by 60, and F is the coefficient of friction, which can be taken as 0.0213 from the step number 13, and the F radial is the radial load, which is already given to us in the question. Okay friend, which is equal to 2.8 into 10 raised to power 3 Newton, and the Rg is the radius of the journal, which is equal to the diameter divided by 2, that is the diameter is 60 mm, so the radius of journal will come out to be 30 mm. So once the value of all these parameter is calculated and and put in this equation, then what we have to do, we have to obtain the power. So the calculation will give us power. The power come out to be 0.1912 kilowatt. So this is the method to calculate the power lost in the friction. So once the power lost in the friction is calculated, the next step is to calculate the side leakage. Now friends, we have already know the value of the lubricant flow rate from step number 13. Sorry, step number 12. So the value of the lubricant flow rate is calculated from the step number 12. So by using the this value, that is 0.28, then we can calculate the value of QS, the side leakage. We will put QS by Q is equal to 0.28, and we will substitute the value of Q from step number 12 in this particular ratio. Then we can calculate the value of QS, that is the side leakage of the lubricant is calculated. And also friend, we can calculate the maximum bearing pressure by using this particular ratio. But we will put the value of unit bearing pressure from step number 2 as 0.78 Newton per mm square, and by using this ratio we can calculate the value of maximum pressure. Okay friend, so this is the end of the topic, and I hope you have liked the video. So friends, if you want more video of such type, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can press the bell icon also for upcoming video. So thank you friends.